Alright, so after hanging around this town of Hackdirt where it tells me to get out of here, I wanted to level up because I'm about to level up here. And I said, okay, let me sleep in this inn, even though nobody wants me here and they're all weird and creepy. And then some dude just jumped at me as I was sleeping, and I realized that I felt a little bit weird. When you look at your face, it looks a little bit weird, and I realized, of course, that I have prophilic, what is it? Hemophilia, whatever that's the illness that makes you a vampire. I was fighting the vampires in this little mine south of Coral. There is, what is this, Hell Joint, porphyric hemophilia, and Hell Joint. So I'm all messed up, and I'm about to become a vampire myself. I'm looking for this, the daughter of that Argonian lady from the story in Coral, and I just love how they. It's so immersive, and now that Oblivion is remastered here in this new engine, it just feels so good. It feels like a new game because I didn't do the whole Oblivion thing. I didn't finish the game. I didn't do a lot of the quests. So now coming back to it, to me it feels absolutely amazing. However, what I want to really talk about this game is a little bit about this vampirism and the ways to cure vampirism, because I can take this beyond the lore, of course. Alright, so there are two ways to cure vampirism in the Elder Scrolls lore, especially here in Oblivion. And in Oblivion is really bad because managing vampirism in Oblivion is very painful. It takes a lot to manage it. There's a lot of downsides for it. You basically die instantly if you go on the sun and you're stage 4 vampire or something like that. But anyway, there are two ways to heal it. One is to take a potion of cure disease. And this is why I didn't want to sleep in that inn, even though I think there's something interesting with the story dealing over there. I know that if I go and sleep in the inn, I'm gonna become a vampire by the time I wake up, and I don't want to deal with that. That's another quest for another time. So I'm just gonna go and cure my vampirism. So I could just take the potion of cure disease, but the other way to cure vampirism is to go and pray. Pray to one of the divines, go to an altar, go to the church in one of the cities, put your hand out and pray to the divines. Any divine will cure your vampirism. And I just find that fantastic. I just find it so amazing that the lore, the beliefs, this idea that praying can cure your disease is something really, really cool for me, because as I said, I've done a lot of research into this, and this has to do with two things. One is the placebo effect, and the other one is faith and mythology and religion. And both are working at the same time. Both are part of the same thing. Now, one of the things that I am seeing in real life in society, one of the things that I'm seeing in real life and society is this rise of Christianity, like a second coming of Christianity in a sense, where people are going back to God, are going back to religion in a way. I know Islam is also becoming quite prominent, and you even get people from the Western world turning to Islam because they want to believe in something. We want to believe in anything in something, especially when we see that problems around the world are increasing and people are somewhat scared of what's going on. Everybody's scared about the next war, the next pandemic, the economic downturn, so on and so forth. So people are going back into praying, and the idea of prayer, which our modern society, our materialist dogma tells us that praying is absolutely false, it's absolutely fake, it doesn't exist, it's an old tale from people who lived a long time ago. As I reach this, I believe this is the The altar of the Bella. I'm currently around Coral. This is just south of Coral. Let me check the map. Yes, indeed. I'm right here. A little bit further south than I wanted. But anyway, the way that the Elder Scrolls does it with these little pillars in a very Greek-Roman fashion. You find this in the middle of the forest, in the middle of nowhere. You think of the ancient rite. You think about the occultism behind the whole thing. You get the red diamond here, just which the symbolism of the red diamond in the Elder Scrolls is also bloody amazing. The idea of stopping, of holding the other world, the underworld, the oblivion, the demons. There's some barrier that holds them, and the dragonfires, this red ruby, which is all over the game, all over the lore. It's what holds the world of the demons, the world of the Daedra, the world of Oblivion from literally encroaching our reality. This is exactly what Oblivion is all about, and this is what the game is about. I already finished the main quest, and I did a huge video about that. And I at one point I'm gonna take all those clips back and talk about how Martin became Akatosh and he achieved divinity by studying the mysteries of Aetherius and finally took down Maroon's Dagon, just preventing this plane meld of the world of the demons and the underworld with our fragile reality as my prophilic vampirism, prophilic hemophilia, whatever it is, whatever the vampire disease seems to be advancing on my character. Porphyric hemophilia, that is the name of the disease. This is the Wasteland of the Bella. So let's proceed with the ritual. Love beauty and honor its mysteries. Pray at my chapel altars to receive my blessings. The Bella, the goddess of beauty. She's pure beauty, and it's assumed to be related with prostitutes. So that's like a very Roman sort of like ancient, very human, imperfect god. But when you think about the mysteries of beauty, there's a whole thing behind that, and I'm not even gonna go into that. So what matters is that any god here, any goddess, is gonna take care of your hemophilia, and as you see, as you perform the ritual, now that we have a little bit of better graphics in Oblivion Remastered, you can see again the theme of the light, this golden energy that emanates from the altar and cures your disease. I have never noticed this actually. It's the first time that I actually noticed that there's this little ball of light, and this is important. It just vanished into red. Beautiful. I don't know if I messed up the ritual, but I think I messed up the ritual. Might as well do it again, just in case something weird is happening here. Beauty. Pray my chapel, all to receive my blessings. Let's go with that, yeah, oh my god, it's just so beautiful. The way that the animation goes into use, the light coming from the altar goes into your body and expands this explosion of energy. Let's do it again. Beautiful, gorgeous. And now with the remastered, all these effects are even more beautiful than before. I absolutely love this concept, 100%. So I'm gonna go beyond the lore with this, of course. So why do I find this so amazing? So why do I find this so amazing and so important? This whole idea that instead of just taking the potion, the medicine, you can just pray at an altar and have your disease cured. I've done a lot of research in the whole concept of energy healing and the placebo effect. There's both of the things working at the same time. Many people would say that prayer is not a thing, it's merely the placebo of praying that heals people. There are studies out there where prayer seems to actually help people into healing their diseases, their illnesses, but also the same thing happens when people are told they take a sugar pill, they're gonna take a sugar pill and they're gonna be healed from their disease. So in both situations, it's not the sugar pill and it's not the prayer itself, it's not the specific God, but it's what the mental energy behind does to the body, what matters to the body. As I was saying, the reason why I want to bring it beyond the lore is because I see this resurgence in people wanting to believe in Christianity, wanting to believe in Islam, and there are wars going in the world because we don't know if who is the real God. Is it Islam? Is it Christianity? Is it the sugar pill? Is it the prayer to the Bella? What exactly is curing the disease? Now I'm gonna before I go into the rant over, if you want to actually go into some of the real research that I found very interesting regarding this, you can look into the work of Dr. Dean Radin and Dr. Fabrizio Benedetti. Fabrizio Benedetti in terms of the concept of placebo effect, and Dr. Dean Radin, who is a parapsychologist who has written a bunch of books. He actually has some very interesting research that I featured in some of my other channels dealing with the whole concept of healing energy or energy hands or the whole Reiki situation and so on and so forth. He made some very interesting experiments surrounding that. So just Google their names, Dean Braden, and you're gonna find some of the research. As I said, I don't know if I'm gonna link that somewhere in these videos. I do this just more like a casual thing. Just go through that. I'm gonna explain briefly what this research was all about. So basically, he did a bunch of things. So he would get a bunch of quote unquote energy healers and people who had been dealing with things like wrist pain and so on and so forth, like things that were clinically diagnosed, like you know issues with their wrists or their hands or musculoskeletic. I don't know what the word is. Muscular skeletic issues that were diagnosed that were real, and they were looking if having the presence of an energy healer would improve anything. And well, yeah, it turned out that the presence of the energy healer, quote unquote, would actually heal them. But the way that he tried to prove that there was something going on here was very interesting. So basically, one of the ways that he did it was to measure the water molecules. He would place water vials, like these little things that you put around your neck, like with a vial with like actual liquid inside this vial, and this was scientific grade liquid, made sure to not have any contamination, something like that. And he actually measured the molecules of the water before and after the healings occurred. He realized that after the healing, the molecules were a little bit different. Now, I don't remember the exact details of the whole thing, but as I said, just Google Dean Radin, energy healings, experiments, and this is peer-reviewed research that is out there. It's documented. I had it. I had the links somewhere in my different video. If you want the links, just ask for them, and I'll link them somewhere. But yeah, that was just one of the ways in which he would do this. Another way that he would track if there were some anomalies in terms of these of the setting of these healings was to.
What is it, associate?
Nothing, French. Just thinking about the research from Dr. Dean Radin. Let me have some lettuce and whatever else is here. while I keep talking about the research. You're welcome to stare at me, but I prefer if you didn't. Thank you. So anyway, what he would do is he would set what he called a random number generator in the rooms where the healings took place. And what happened is that he would he would use these machines which would generate random numbers normally, but at the time that there were healings occurring, the random number generator, it was a quantum random number generator. I don't know how it works. It was something specific that would throw random numbers, but when there was a healing occurring, this quote unquote random number generator would act in a specific way where it wasn't random anymore. So he realized that something at the energy level in the rooms where the healings were taking place was becoming ordered, was becoming less random and more ordered. There was intention in the aura of the room and so on and so forth, right? So there's something going on when people focalize and think about healing with intent.
Greetings, Imperial. Do you ever do any shopping at Northern Goods?
I haven't needed anything there in a while. I'm sure I will soon, though.
So basically, he managed to prove that when there was a healing, people actually improved their pain or whatever their situation, they reported an improvement. And there was something going on at the physical level, whether it was the random generation, the generator becoming less random, or perhaps it was the molecules of the water in the vials that the healer and
you can make a good living there.
So yeah, when there was healing, there was order in the. There was a higher degree. Or it wasn't like incredibly something like that. There was just a higher degree of order in the healings, in the ambience of the healings from this quantum random number generator, and there was a change in the molecules of water. It seems that something at the quantum level was changing when these effects and these healings took place. His conclusion was that, well, not his, I mean, he has books and books about this and he talks about many things, but one of his conclusions was that it's not actually energy. People are not using the paladin spell, lay on hands on people and just healing the people. There's something that occurs at the environmental level. There's something that goes beyond. It's pure mentalism. Something changed at the mental level, which happens to heal, whether it is in the mind of the person who is receiving the healing or the mind of the healer itself, or both at the same time. It seems that thoughts are related to the quantum fields around us. And when you think about prayer, that is exactly what prayer is. It's just organized thought with intention, organized thought towards the intention of healing or the intention of something happening. And now that ties a little bit into the other set of research from Dr. Fabrizio Benedetti that I said. So as I said, the way to cure the vampirism in the game of the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, and well, in any Elder Scrolls game, is to either have it cured by doing a weird heavy ritual or praying at an altar or taking a potion of cure disease. Now, in IRL research on the placebo effect, we can find that it would be the same thing, because what happens what is happening in the most recent research is that they're finding that the placebo effect is a real thing, and it's affecting control groups when when they're trying new medicines, when they're trying new things, and I also saw research from Harvard talking about this, it's really getting in the way, because as people become more aware of the placebo effect, of knowing that their mind is going to change the outcome of their illness, of the effects that the medicine have on their illnesses, this is really messing up the actual medicine industry, the pharmaceutical industry, and it's very interesting and very funny to watch. But anyway, there's all sorts of research that was going on, and some of the things that I found really interesting were that, number one, it's not about reducing inflammation, it's not about feeling just better and then something happens. What the doctor found is that specific effects happen in the body. So if they, and these are positive, and both positive and negative, if the person thinks that they're gonna have a negative effect, like there was even the case, I believe, even becoming sterile or having some specific effect happen to them, getting a headache, they would go ahead and create that situation for themselves. You can go further in the research. So it's not about a specific thing, it's about a specific outcome that is gonna happen. So that means that it's not only people being relaxed and feeling better and nice because something magic is gonna happen to them, it's the specific outcome. Another thing that I found interesting about that research on the placebo effect, and as I mentioned, go Google all of this for yourself, is the work of Dr. Fabrizio Benedetti. He found out that in patients with Alzheimer or something of that nature, one of the core aspects of the placebo effect seems to be the idea or the ability to think about the future. And some of the people with problems with memory, like Alzheimer and so on and so forth, people who cannot really formulate thoughts about the future, specifically thinking about the specific outcome of their illness, probably, the placebo effect was not as effective in them. So the ability to think of something specific and thinking about the future did affect the placebo effect. So in general, one of the outcomes and one of his main consensus was that both matter. It's not just about thinking an illness away, it's the medicine and the way that you feel about it. So thinking that the medicine is going to work on you, it improves the effect because you are doing everything with your body to think about it. So now that brings us to something really interesting, and the biggest question, and something that I haven't been able to quite figure out yet, and I guess this is where I'm gonna leave the video at, is what exactly is going on? Is it that our mind is creating all of this? Is that we think and then our body heals? Or is it that it is something beyond? Like Dr. Dean Radin mentioned, it seems that we connect at a higher level. And when you go into the ancient occultism and some of the ancient ideas, the principle of mentalism is what seems to be occurring here. We all live in the mind of Ahura Mazda. We all live in the mind of something. And since we are made upon its image, our ability to think just how this entity thought of the world and created reality, our individual ability to think, is like hacking into the matrix of reality. And this is how we can start to explain some of these mysteries on why energy healing is real. Why did people believe in magic? Why does it resonate when we play these games of fantasy and magic and gods and goddesses? Why does it resonate so much with us? Why are people going back into prayer and religions and Islam and Christianity? Despite all the negativity that dogmatic religion may offer, they want to believe in prayer, they want to believe in something higher, they want to believe in something. But the dogma, the religion, doesn't seem to be the final thing, the final answer. I think it is the principle of mentalism. It is the ability to think The ability to... That's the reason why prayer works. The ability to think and hack into the matrix of the universe. It's our tool to truly become an adept and hack into the code of reality. I'm gonna build upon all of this. Of course, I'm just babbling, going out back and forth into the philosophical aspect of this, but just taking it beyond the lore. If you ask me why is it that whether taking a potion or simply praying at the altar will cure your disease, it's because we are hacking into the code of the reality, both in-game and, as I've been saying, it seems that in real life too.